Black Madison, you inspire me. And MMSD, when you fired me, you also inspired me. So now I get to be a irrepressible, unapologetic warrior for black children. And this is Black History Month. And we're going to do that two-step, the usual two-step, gatekeeping, black mediocrity type of elevation of black children, because we won't really mean it. Because if we meant it, we would show it in the classroom. There are far too many demonstrations of black support publicly of children, but no public demonstrations of support. We talk all day about how much we love and elevate black children, black women, and all children by extension, but we don't publicly do it. We publicly talk about it. Today I'm going to talk. Recently there's a young man, basketball coach at Sun Prairie. I think he got suspended for 5 games and he's no longer the basketball coach. We talk all day about how we look for supportive black men who black children really lean into, and we need to elevate black men. But do we actually do it? Whatever that man's penalty was, could it have been any worse than the janitor at La Follette who forcibly ejected a queer black girl out of the building as he let 2 white girls in? Could it have been any worse than a 6'7", 400-pound white man slamming a 3-foot-tall, 18-pound black kid, he's probably 98 pounds, against the wall because he called him a B? In my job, I got called B so much I almost changed my name to B, but the white man got to do it. Can it be any worse than a secretary of the athletic director walking by in the gym during a basketball game, a black principal, a black resource officer, and myself walk by us and snatch a black girl out of the stands and then turn to us and say she was giving me attitude? See, this is a type of environment you create black people when you don't respect and stand up for yourself. She walked by 3 black people who were working in the gym just to show off her power as a racist white woman. And that black principal turned around and told her, fall back, told that girl, Angel, sit back down. And you know what this entitled white woman did after that? She let the very kid that should have never been in our building, she went to a side door and let him in just to show us that she was about her power. So let's ask real big questions. Black Madison, all Madison, white teachers who say you love black children. The first one to go to the funeral and cry, but then you watch them die in the buildings. Let's talk about white parents who use your white privilege to give your half-white kid out of trouble every day till your child turn 18, and then ain't shit you can do for him because you made him think he was untouchable. Let's talk about black parents who think you have to be some type of ignorant, negative warrior, and yet you feel like you're going to raise strong black kids by being the dumbest sumbitch in the room. You can't run up to the school and say, what y'all do to my kid? What happened to my kid? Sometimes black parent, you did. Sometimes white mama who uses your ethnicity and your whiteness to get pissed off when somebody tells you that your black child that you see as white ain't doing shit right. This is what kills our kids. I'm going to spill more tea. Why are we always bragging about how we didn't have to apply for a position at La Follette? We have an BSU director who has said the most sexually vulgar things to black children, and he still has a job. He has mocked queer children after he takes them on trip. He has mocked low-income children. He has passed out turkeys for basketball players, and then at Bonefish Grill, he and another black man who works as a coach at Middleton sit there in this meeting in front of Monte Ball, who was signing books, and talk about how needy and untrustworthy and sorry black people were, especially black women. And he was passing out turkeys that weren't even his. A basketball pro had him doing that, but he used that opportunity to malign and invalidate black women. But he still has a job. This man who said the most sexually vulgar things to black girls at La Follette, and I told 3 principals, and everybody wants to ignore that because he's your type of coon. So y'all want him in the room. But you mess with a basketball coach that got in a scrap. I'm not taking sides on that. I will tell you, if somebody would have called my son or my daughter a bitch-ass nigger, it would have been an issue. I would have followed that man to the gym too. I'm not taking any sides. And I'm going to go about 3 more minutes on this because I got to get it in. You call my son or my daughter or any other human's daughter a bitch ass nigger, it's going to be a problem. Locker room, whatever else. But you saw fit to penalize that man. And I am not taking sides. But the white man who tossed a black child out of the building physically, the white man who physically slammed a 5'6", 98-pound black man, the black man who was the biggest Sambo in the building, walk up to black girls and touch and play with their weaves and tell them and mock them for having their hair, knowing the story about America invalidating black children's hair. And every time black kids come in the classroom, walk down the hallways, he's positioned in the hallways to talk about their weaves and how bad it is, and he still sees the grease or the glue. This type of black man you want in the building. And yet, all Black History Month, we're going to do that pathetic black dance and your bullshit romance about we loving black kids. And I'm so sick of hearing white principals say, I studied in some obscure place in Africa. No place in Africa is obscure, but we don't even know the name, so I know black people. I'm so sick of white principals talking about I connect with black people through basketball, as if we all play basketball. I'm so sick of black and white principals chasing me in the hallway saying, share the power, make these black kids talk to me. As if I can make a black kid talk to you. I'm so sick of white principals using nothing but white supremacy to attack and invalidate women when they're going through a divorce with their wife. They turn around and take that out on every woman in the building. And then they get to turn around and say, I'm going through counseling, I'm doing better, so I get to keep my job. But the black basketball coach who impacts lives in far incalculable ways can't keep his job. See, we're always giving grace to white supremacy in the blackface. We must stop doing that if we really want to make Black history a real meaningful month. And by the way, Black history is every day in every way, and it's not even really Black history. It is American history. And all you cowardly people who don't want any DIA opportunities and you attack DIA, diversity, equity, and inclusion, you don't want us to teach Black history. You're going to get real fucked up if we really teach honest white history. This is Coach Assad. Please see me on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube. I elevate the children. I elevate the world. I've got a nonprofit called the Mellow Hood Foundation. I have a consulting company, LLC, called Mott LLC. I'm one of the lowest funded nonprofits because I'm honest. But once again, I got to tell the truth. You can be who you want to be, but I got to be Josh Gibson. You can be Babe Ruth. Peace and love. I'm going to always elevate black people, black women. If you come for black kids, I'm going to make it do what it did. Peace and love.